Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of ASKability. ASKability is a short video series where I talk with other disabled people about how access, inclusion, and accommodations show up in their daily lives. My name is Nico Myering. Sorry, I use he, him pronouns. For a visual description, I'm a white man with blonde hair parted off to one side. I'm wearing a gray sweater. I have glasses on. I'm seated in front of a purple background. I'm honored today to be joined by my friend Emerson. Emerson, hello. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Emerson Wheeler. I use he, him, or they, them pronouns. I am a white person with short light brown hair and a beige sweater. And I apologize for my puppy in the background if you can hear her. And I'm sitting in front of a blurred background. I'm in my office right now.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Emerson, what access features or tools do you use in daily life, and how do they help you?
Yeah, so I have EDS, and a lot of it's disabling comorbidities, and also I'm neurodivergent. So I use a lot of tools, mostly like the classic tools. I use a wheelchair when I'm out and about, and joint braces, but also sort of less visible ones like captions on TV shows, and at work being able to use the chat feature, especially like during discussions and stuff on Zoom. And some other things like I have to do a lot of like budgeting my own energy. So I do a lot of like tools that help with skipping some steps. So like pre-cut veggies that I'll have available for, like, I don't use them all the time, but if I'm in a pain flare and my hands are really hurting me, I really don't want to chop up the veggies. I could use that energy somewhere else. And precautions for COVID stuff has been a big one. Any sort of precautions for infectious diseases in general because of my immune system. Neuropathies cause temperature dysregulation and stuff. So heating pad and the little, like the throwaway ones, the little, so tons of stuff, and probably things that I'm not even thinking of right now, but.
Valid. Accommodations help us in ways large and small. I do have to give a shout out to pre-sliced vegetables. That's made cooking, like even for me, much easier. And it takes the guesswork out of things too. I like to
Oh,
be
and this
exact.
electrolytes.
Oh, yes.
They're everywhere.
Valid. I recently learned, rather, that they come in pill form as well. Yes, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Such things they have now. Emerson, tell us, what access features or tools would make the biggest improvement on your life, and how?
That's a good question, and one that I've been thinking a lot about. I have not ever gotten accommodations for neurodivergence stuff before at work. So I not recently, I guess anymore, in May, I started a new job at the Department of Health, which has been awesome, and I really love my team. And I'm sort of faced with this: how do I teach them how to accommodate my brain, which is interesting. Something that I haven't experienced before, but I think that would probably make the biggest improvement, just in terms of like some colleague education even. Yeah.
Valid. I see you in that. In terms of colleague education, as you put it, how are your efforts going so far? Like, are they working with you, or is it more of a rocky road?
They are. It's funny because it's sort of my job to teach them about it in a weird way. So I am a health equity person for the disability community. So it's sort of fun too,
Mhm.
because part of my day-to-day job has been sort of educating others about how best to interact with people with disabilities and just like disability etiquette and
Right.
stuff like that. So it's cool. It's a cool environment, and we're all very interested to learn from each other. There's a lot of people on the team who know lots of stuff about other things that I don't know. So
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that they're receptive and you get to put practice into your professional life. Yes, good. Tell me, how are disabled people included or excluded in your community? Are there people or groups that are advocating for better inclusion?
hmm, um, they it's when I was thinking about this question,
Mhm.
I was like, what is my community? Because I have so many,
Sure.
and I'm sure that resonates that like the trans community is my community,
Mhm.
but also the disability community is my community, and the Department of Health community is my community. There's like
Exactly.
a lot of different communities.
Yes.
Um, I will say there are some folks that I've been working with just as part of my job that I think are doing some really great advocacy work and making some changes in Vermont, which
Mhm.
has been pretty cool. I've been working closely with the Vermont Developmental Disabilities Council,
Okay.
and they're working on a project right now where they're developing like a bunch of plain language healthcare related briefs. Um, and that's been very cool. And then this other one that's happening right now is sort of a training program for folks who are interpreters
Mhm.
for ASL. Vermont has like 2 or 3 ASL interpreters for mental health
Okay.
settings
That's
specifically.
low.
Yeah. So it's been a big project to like sort of get a program up and running to
Mhm.
train some more people to be competent in the mental health um, area and just like vernacular. Um, yeah, but those 2 groups are doing great advocacy work, and I'm really excited to see final products too.
I love the thought that you put into this question. Your your answers are very well conceived overall, but you're only the second person who's asked me or who's thought about the community question in more than just location locked terms. Yeah.
Mm,
So I see you in that. I love that answer. Thank you. This brings me to my last planned question. How would you specifically, my friend, benefit from better disability inclusion?
I there are a lot of answers that I could give you.
I'm all ears.
I definitely would benefit from like more people having an understanding of what access needs are
Mhm.
and how to talk about them. Um, it's it's just like language that I think some people don't have. A lot of people don't have
Okay.
um, to understand like that everybody, even if you're not disabled, you still have access needs, and yours are just met easily by society automatically. And uh, I think my quality of life would benefit a lot from just more people having that shared language um, to communicate with each other. Because I would love to know, you know, other people's access needs. And
Mhm.
if I asked them that question, I think they wouldn't know how to answer. Um, so I wish that would change and be better, because it definitely would impact the amount of energy I'm spending just trying to get on the same page before I like try to make the point I'm trying to make.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. But I would also say that like COVID sort of upended a lot of my life.
Mhm.
And I think an understanding that we are not going back to normal, and that like a lot of people are not going back to normal, would also be beneficial. Um, I don't know if that's making a ton of sense, but
I think it makes a lot of sense because you tie into this concept you brought up earlier about overall saving spoons, right? You expend so many spoons, you expend so much of your energy resources in making your environment accessible when really you could be using those spoons elsewhere if accessibility was preactive or proactive rather than reactive. Yes,
right.
it really strikes me as someone who grew up playing SimCity and Civilization, like use your resources wisely.
Yeah.
Sim
Yeah.
spoons.
Sam spoons. Yeah, that's a good, I like that because, and honestly, it's a point that I have found myself making a number of times so far at work, is just the difference between accommodations and accessibility is that accessibility is built in a way that accommodations are sort of more of like a band-aid situation, like an afterthought. Um, yeah. And the fact that it's not built in means that we spend so much extra energy just making up for that. Hmm.
That's very valid. Thank you so much for your answers. I've really learned a lot, and I always enjoy speaking about disability issues. So thank you for
Yeah.
giving me this opportunity.
Well, thanks for having me.
Of course, before we close out, I want to give you a chance to promote yourself, get on your virtual soapbox. Where can people find you online? What are you celebrating? This is your chance to be your own personal cheerleader. So go ahead.
Yeah. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm trying to post more there. Um, I think I'm Emerson the person on Instagram, and I have a Twitter, but I don't use it very often. If you can find me, you can follow me. um, and yeah, just I would love for people to reach out to me. I also I've been watching all of your Askability
Oh, you.
things, and I noticed that a lot of people like to read, and I just want to also say that I love to read and would love book recs. If anybody has any recommendations, I love YA. I love anything disability related.
Okay,
Just finished The Invention of Miracles, which was really good.
tell me
Um,
about it.
it's like a revisionist history of Alexander Graham Bell,
Okay,
and it focuses more on like the harm that he caused the deaf community, and how honestly it seemed very well intentioned at the time. And I found it fascinating just sort of looking through the eyes of like, okay, this person really thought that they were doing good things for this community at the time. And you ask a deaf person now and you might get a different answer about
certainly.
Alexander Graham Bell. Um, just fascinating history stuff.
I'll put it on my to read list, which admittedly is 500 books deep already. But
Same.
I see you in that. Fantastic, my friend. Thank you so much and have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thank you, Nico.